You're listening to the In the Mix podcast with Marvin Joles. Here's your host.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of In the Mix. I'm really excited about this one. If you follow us at all on social media, I like to reshare things in the industry, not necessarily on our feed, but in our story, posts that I see and different things going on. And as you all know, this year's been big for me, understanding AI and tech and everything in the asphalt industry. Being an asphalt contractor, I'm always interested in tech in ways that will make our lives easier. And earlier this year, I seen a post, came across my feed, that like suggested for you stuff because of what I'm interested in. The algorithm like knows me, like it's my kin. And I seen something that just seemed like it was completely out of a fantasy. I seen a topographical image similar to like if we were going to be using a mapping software and we were going to move polygons and whatnot. But I seen a cursor pull across a parking lot and literally generate a parking layout instantaneously in this area. And then I kind of started following along and I seen it again, this time over like green earth. They drug it over there and it popped in a parking area with all the stalls, the layout, what it would look like and everything. And I immediately started DMing TestFit.io on Instagram, was like, when can I get in a conversation with somebody? Because the amount of DMs that I received when I would post that stuff were way too many to ignore. So after a lot of jumping through the hoops and email exchanges, I got Jack with us today from TestFit. Jack, please introduce yourself and let people know kind of who you are and what you do over there.
Yeah, thanks, man. No, I'm excited to be here. My name's Jack. I'm from Chicago originally, but I escaped the winters, like
Nice.
we kind of talked about, I'm out on the West Coast now. Yeah, so very thankful for that, especially this week. But yeah, my background's in architecture, urban planning. Been with TestFit for about 5 years now. I run new markets for us, which is really just looking at new typologies, new asset types within the software. But yeah, very excited to chat.
Man, I think for us, it's just a unique thing to think like there's something out there that can eliminate so much work when it comes to generating something. And as I said before, we're always talking about AI in this industry and what's going on. I guess I kind of want to start with you giving an explanation of what TestFit is for contractors.
Yeah, so it's a great question. So a little history on TestFit to kind of describe how we got here. But so we started off back in 2016. So we're about to celebrate our 10th anniversary, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
I know, right? It's you're a nobody and then all of a sudden you're somebody. And it seems all at once, but it's a decade.
I'm still waiting for that day. I'm waiting for the year somebody.
It'll come, man. It'll come.
Thanks, man.
But so, 2016, Clifton, our one of our co-founders, was working as a designer within a real estate developer, and he was counting parking stalls and trying to relate parking stalls to units in multifamily. And that balance was taking so long to do it.
It's a nightmare.
It's nuts, right? Trying to do that manually. And, someone comes in, even from like in that scenario, you're trying to balance unit count to parking ratio, and you have to redo everything every single time someone wants to change. So we partnered up with his co-founder, Ryan, to kind of figure out a better way to do that. And that spurred what you'll see today, which is a parking configurator or parking solver, if you will, within this software, and then a unit solver. And then marrying those two together to be able to get a site out. Where TestFit has helped contractors, general contractors, civils, architects, that sort of thing, even just for parking is
pavement contractors, really like
pavement contractors. Yeah, we have a bunch using us now too, which is great. And it's all because counting parking stalls is a nightmare, right?
Yeah,
we want to go out there and do
designing
the work.
a layout, dude.
Yeah.
Designing a layout is like the fact that I seen you guys drag a cursor across the screen in 4 points and it created a layout in like half a second. My brain melted, dude. I just was like, OMG, this is a game changer.
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to show you some stuff today, too. We've even improved that where we can now run an iterative design where we can test hundreds of thousands of iterations with angled stalls, different.
I was wondering about that. Yeah. I want everybody to be clear, too. Like, I'm not getting paid by TestFit to have you on the podcast or talk about this. This is legitimately just like, if I see something like this And it's that interesting. And I think about, so we stripe at Wisco, but it's not like
Yeah,
heavy striping. It's not like, it's not crazy. We're not doing a mall. We'll very rarely do anything the size of like a grocery store or whatever.
sure.
But all my constituents and all my buddies, dude, some of these are just straight line striping guys. And I know how much time they're spending drawing things up, almost like engineers simply at this point. So
Yeah.
for me, that's why it matters to pavement contractors. But man, it has to be exciting for you to be like, this is a big problem that this solves.
It's one of those massive problems that to people not in the industry would classify as like a niche, right? But it is a massive problem. Everything that we build in this country has to be parked because
Correct.
that's the way the world works, right?
Yep.
And exactly like what you were saying. So my background is in architecture and planning, but I worked at GGP, which was big retail back in the day, and now they're back, but it became Brookfield for a little bit and yada
Sure.
yada. But we would do this all the time where like, hey, we want to go build something new, or hey, we're re-signing a lease with XYZ big box tenant, and they want to confirm that the parking from like 1979 plan is the same today, even though it's been restriped like 7 times.
Yeah.
So then we have to go through, make sure it's accurate. If we're missing stalls, then we have to go figure out how to restripe it so we can get the right number of stalls back
Yeah.
in. And we used to do that pre-TestFit, all AutoCAD, right?
Yeah.
And I'm drawing parking stalls by hand for
Right.
hours and hours a day, counting it over and over, trying to rearrange it. Like, it's not something that we want to spend our time doing, right? We want to go out there and actually do the work to asphalt it, restripe it, move forward, build the project and get it done. The design of it, it's math at the end of the day, right? It's trying to figure out how we can get the best use of that land as quickly as possible.
Dude, it's just crazy to think that like, I don't know how many years ago, but for sure 20 years ago, 30 years ago, they were drawing it on paper. Like you were drawing it and having to make out your grass and everything. And then to see this is just crazy. So it makes me think about like new pavement, new construction, right? So let's say we have an existing parking lot, but we're going to remove it and replace it rather than have to like take the topographical, draw everything out and see where it was. We can just drag this over the area that already exists. And if it isn't optimized, it could be optimized for correct parking. If we wanted to make a shift, we don't have to worry about blacking out other lines if we're milling and paving. But the new construction off blueprints, hopefully we can get into that a little bit later. But for me, lately, what I've known to be true is that if a software exists like this, usually you're able to put it into a PDF, you're able to put it into a file, you're able to put it into something and then attach it to, let's say I'm using Jobber to send my quote out. I can send a proposed diagram and whatnot if it's in a PDF through TestFit, I would imagine. So I don't want to keep like jumping and saying like, hey, this is possible or what it. But for me, what I see right away is that we're able to kind of optimize our quotes to make them look, it's frankly just badass, to be honest with you. If I'm plopping something down, I'm like, hey, this is your layout. And they're like, that took you 5 minutes. If that, fantastic. Yep. If you're a subcontractor in the asphalt industry, you already know the deal. Slow pay, no communication, scopes that change, and getting squeezed on price after the job's done. Pavco National is different because they didn't start as a national company. They used to self-perform. They've been in the field. They've run crews. They've dealt with the exact frustrations you deal with when working for other nationals. They built Pavco to be the company they wish they could have worked with. That means clear communication, fair contracts, and no games. They don't treat subs like placeholders. They treat them like partners because they've been on your side of the contract before. If you're ready to work with a national contractor that actually understands and respects your business, reach out to Pavco National. Email them at partners@pavco.com or call 866-PAVEMENT. Pavco National, making your life smoother. Being first, tip of the spear is always the best, even when it comes to quoting. Most of the time, if a contractor calls or emails a client emails 3 contractors, whoever's first usually is front of mind, like every single time. So if you can make it fast, it's way easier. So to have that would be great. And then we're optimizing the stall counts, the drive aisles, and circulation and the way things rotate. So I'll let you get into it a little bit, into the weeds, and then I'll just ask questions as we go and you do your thing.
I mean, you bring up a great point too, because knowing it from the client side, because Brookfield used to be the client, the client's almost always asking after they need it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like we're never like, oh, we're going to restripe this in a year. We're going to call someone now and get that set up. It's like, oh, we probably should have been doing this like 4 months ago. So
Yeah.
whoever answers first wins the attention because I'm already behind. Right.
Yeah.
Like I'm asking you because I needed this done before. And so like 100% to your point, like we export to PDF, we actually export to CAD too. So we have a lot of folks that do the design and test fit and then one-off little like niche conditions that they can't necessarily edit
we
and
got
test
to
fit.
move something here or there a little bit.
Yeah, like, hey, we want some sort of like electrical box here, or, if you're doing EV stalls and you want to put those in a different way, like you can kind of play with those. And so you can export it there. You can export it to SketchUp if you ever wanted to do it there. If you're coordinating with like, if your client's working on that, makes that a lot easier.
You can make those small adjustments and whatnot after you get your layout. And I think the biggest thing too is like being able to confirm with the client whether that's what they want. And if not, we can make a little adjustment here before we send over the final rendering. We can make those edits essentially like fairly quick, I would think. So, I mean, I let you share the screen. You're more than welcome to bring it up. I'll do the job of like talking people who are listening to the podcast through it, but you just do your thing and show it because it's going to be on YouTube as well. If you're listening and you want to see it, jump over there. But dude, I'm excited about it.
Awesome. Yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen. I'll kind of walk you guys through like what this looks like too. So feel free to chime in if questions or anything else there. But this is the interface to TestFit. You basically go in, you can put in an address, coordinate, APN that gets you anywhere you're looking.
So any address I can put in, it'll bring up existing parking if it's there. And then I right here, you have a box drawn around a massive parking lot.
Yeah. Massive parking lot. Well, this is SoFi Stadium, so over by me.
Heck yeah. Okay, yeah, it is.
Right, but like a ton of parking. We know they're going to rebuild on this. That we know that they're trying to build over on the west side, right? So the east side's going to have to get more efficient on parking while they're still building. Garages,
same thing's happening here in Nashville. They got a new Titan Stadium going in while the other one's still existing. They're going to have to do this same thing at some point.
So like this looked pretty inefficient in that like, hey, we could probably fit more parking up here. This looks like it's storage, so we'll pull it out. The way you define a site, super simple. We have parcels in TestFit, so that's what this is pulling in. We already had the parcels in here, so makes that really easy. You can also just draw it in. So like if you're doing something like you're only doing like a portion of something, go ahead and draw that in.
Like a piece of a parcel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So are the parcels already loaded in there?
Oh yeah, they're already there.
Okay, so they're going off of the city mapping and whatnot that already says this is a parcel of land, this is a parcel of land. There's a lot of software out there that has the parcels of land.
Yeah,
they're already so.
Well, in the US, it's so easy because it's APNs that are federally available, so it's a lot simpler. We do have those for Canada too, though. If any of your listeners are kind of up in Canada too.
Oh, we got some in Canada, man.
Yeah. I love it. That's good. Figure with the Wisconsin background, you're not too far from it, so that's good. Well, cool. So then once you get in here, you can start to add in like areas where you don't want to build to. We call them easements. So I just kind of built a couple of these areas. So like, hey, we maybe want to preserve that. You can also do that with buildings, that sort of thing as well too. Okay. And then once you get those placed, all you're doing is coming up here and you're picking surface parking. It's like exactly what you just saw. Like it went from nothing to something in all about a matter of a second.
Yeah. And it put in like, the trees and the ends of like the herringbones or whatever they would be.
It's all in 3D too.
Heck, dude, I didn't see this. Yeah, this is cool. So it goes from a 2D rendering from above to 3D rendering. If we click that,
you got the stadium. Yeah, you get everything in there. And then, so everything in here. So TestFit kind of works on a parameter approach. And what that essentially means is you can get it in there and specify things like if I come over here to my surface parking, my drive aisle width. Like, let's say, hey, we know because this is going to be lower traffic because it's less used, we could actually get away with like 22-foot traffic aisles or something like that, right? Okay. Just to squeeze a little bit more on a site like this, you may get 2 or 3, 4 more rows by just going down to 22 feet. Your turn radius maybe can also drop down a little bit. That gets you a few more parking stalls at the edge. If you kind of watch that again, if I go back to 24, you lose a few based on that. So you can get a little bit of something there as well too. You can turn off the trees as well if you don't really want them. No shame there. We have these other parameters in here called max block length. And you can kind of see how this is starting to break up at certain lengths. So like if you're doing too long of a run, here we're probably okay with super long runs, right? That's totally fine because it's going to be more like trafficked area.
Yeah.
And then it's starting to look at it as regions, right? So this is all orienting in one way. This is all orienting in another. You've got a couple orientations down here as well too.
Yeah.
All just trying to like piecemeal it and make sure it's starting to work cohesively. But even so much as like we have ADA parking stalls. So down here, you get into what we call like custom stall configurations essentially. So like ADA parking in vans, that's actually coming in automatically from the ADA table. So like you don't even have to go do that math anymore. Like if you're doing a restriping, you don't have to say like, hey, do I need 5, 10, whatever.
Yep. You can just put it in there and it'll automatically generate them for you.
Exactly.
With the hashed areas and everything.
Hatched areas and everything. Yeah. Wow. So you've got your hatched areas right in between. You can decide if that's going to be a shared buffer or not, meaning like, do you want a buffer or hatched area in between
do you want
each
one for each one or split between 2 parking stalls? Yeah.
Exactly. And then same kind of thing. You've got compact stalls. You could do another one. Let's call that like an EV parking if you guys are like starting to spec those types of things. And you can do that as an exact count or a target ratio. So like if you need, let's say we need 50 of these, it'll then go ahead and place those in there. And then you can always edit them and move them if you want them to be.
Oh, dude, you're literally dragging them and moving them anywhere in the parking lot.
Drag and drop.
That's crazy, man.
All right, guys, let's talk about something that makes a real difference before the job even starts. Prep work. It's the most important thing, and we all know it. The BendSync rotary broom is built with high tensile strength steel bristles, and this thing flat out works. It preps areas for seal coating and striping, helps clean up crankcase oil spills, and easily converts into crack cleaning mode. And here's the deal. It cleans where traditional sweepers can't. It makes moss removal easy. And this is one of those tools that once you have it, you can't go without it. There are 2 models available, the hydraulic broom, which is the most popular and spins both directions, and the mechanical version that spins one direction. One customer put it best, we've been cleaning parking lots for 23 years. We can't live without the BendSync. If you're serious about doing the job right from the start, this is one worth checking out. Head over to bendsyncrotarybroom.com to learn more. And they've even got financing options available right there on the website. That's the BendSync Rotary Broom, built for guys doing the real work.
So what if I wanted to eliminate, like, I know you can't see it if you're listening to the podcast, but the topographical has the trees in there. If I eliminate those, will it fill those in with parking spots then rather than like the landscaped areas?
Yes. So there's 2 things there. So one, we have this idea called a max run, which basically looks at having a landscape island every certain number of stalls, right? Sure. Some jurisdictions require that, others don't. All you have to do is turn that off and it'll go ahead and remove.
Now we're talking. So we're in Detroit now. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, it's literally just stalls. We don't care about anything else. What I think is interesting is how not necessarily the stall angles change, but how the angles of like the overall parking areas change in order to optimize usage. Yeah. Rather than those be straight all the way across, and then we would have like a bunch of junk on the ends because the one side is angled that we wouldn't get to use. They're actually angling the stalls so that we can use them. What happened right there when you moved that one? Oh, so you can change the axes if you want.
Yeah, so it'll cycle between a bunch of them. And actually here, if I do this real quick, I'm just going to click surface parking. I'm going to run generative design. And what this does is TestFit each one of these like gray lines. You're not really seeing it if you're listening, but basically TestFit is running hundreds of thousands of different orientation combinations of angled stalls versus perpendicular stalls.
Oh my gosh, that one was a nightmare, bro.
I know.
One looked like sardine bones all piled up. I mean,
the fish bone. Oh yeah, it's crazy, right?
God, dude.
But basically, we just got to 580 options in the last like couple of seconds that all technically work. Right now, they're stack ranked by like max yield and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you can start to pick one that kind of works a little bit better than the other, and then you can use that and start to build on it from there. So like just a slight angle maybe got us a few more stalls than what we were looking at before.
Do you find that contractors like this reduces revisions and client confusion, like for them? I mean, what are some of the feedback that you're getting from the contractors? Aaron Witt's walking around here and I like want to flag him in and be like, dude, you got to see this. But yeah, I mean, is that what we're seeing with the feedback?
Yeah, honestly, TestFit is like what we hear from all different customers, but especially contractors, is it cuts down on the back and forth. So like your revisions, but it really just becomes this great communication tool, right? Someone in a meeting, whether it's the client or someone else, says like, well, what if we, did like a 45-degree angle? Like, I think we could get more. And you're like, well, probably not because it's too,
Can you
whatever.
imagine, Jack, having to go back and be like, okay, we'll redraw it at 45
Right.
rather than just click a button like you're going to do over here?
Just did it. And
Oh
now we're
my
done. And then we
God,
actually got
bro.
less parking stalls, the 45 versus the 75.
My
So we
buddy
got
Lance
2,700.
Bradshaw in Toronto would be like drooling over this. He was just
Yeah.
here and he was talking about doing a huge one for a company up there. I think it's a motor company that rhymes with Rhonda. And he was like, dude, I don't know how the heck I'm going to do all these and lay these out. And I was like, yeah, tough
Here's my
cookies.
number.
But yeah, he's going to have to get your number for this one. So you have real world contractors that are using this as we're using it right now, the way that we're talking.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Dude, that's
We've got
crazy.
striping folks using TestFit. We have even
Dude, those guys are going to hate that I put this on the podcast and that's out there to the world because this has been their secret weapon, bro.
Yeah. We're a secret weapon depending on who you talk to. But yeah,
Well, I mean,
100%.
But for them, it's their secret weapon. If you know, it doesn't get brought to the surface in the asphalt industry. Sorry, the pun. It's you rarely know about it for the most part. But
yeah.
So let me elaborate on that a little bit. I'm a contractor. I've never used TestFit before. You know as well as I do, in our industry, we're quote unquote non-technical for the most part when it comes to construction industry. Is there a big learning curve for non-technical users?
For parking, not really, no. The big thing, like everything I'm showing you is out of the box TestFit. And so we like to think of ourselves as that program that's, more closely related to something like an Apple or something like that, where like it is built for you. You don't have to go in there and do a bunch of setup, right? Like there's a bunch of Windows users that, go in there and have to set up their computer. Mac just like turns on, right? That's what we're striving for, is that sort of experience. Now, the only thing that gets into it is more kind of like skiing and snowboarding, right? If you will, I guess we're in the winter, that's top of mind. Okay. Where like snowboarding is a lot harder to learn, but easier to master. Yeah. And then I would say TestFit's more on the side of skiing, where it's a lot easier to learn. And then depending on how deep you want to go, it can be harder to master.
Sure, that makes sense.
And that just really gets into how many details do you want out of TestFit. You don't need to master it to get like what you want out of it.
No. Like, I mean, that's technically what I do with all the software that I use. I'm like, get me the bare bones. I'm thankful you have 30 features. I need 2. And that'll help me get there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like we build it for as many people as want to get into there as possible. But I mean, you can do like fun stuff in here. Like if you want another drive aisle here, you could just left click, drag, create that, and TestFit will go ahead and build that for you. And then you're just editing it. So like you can really get into the nitty gritty of it. Yeah. But you don't have to, right? That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing is it's really helping create a lot of ease for contractors to give clients a lot of options. And they look at it and like, yeah, I can take this out and get you 30 more parking stalls if that's what you want. If you want it to look elegant because the engineered design is elegant, we can do that as well. Like we can do all these things and all these different options. What about like field versus office usability? Like if I'm in the parking lot looking at it, is it easy to use in the field versus having to be at my desktop? For the rock, sand, and gravel producers listening, efficiency isn't just about your loaders and your crushers. It's about your data. Bulk Source is the modern operating system that connects the pit to the pavement. Stop running your business on spreadsheets and paper tickets. Bulk Source is an all-in-one cloud platform that handles everything: order management, dispatch, scale ticketing, and invoicing. Give your customers what they actually want: a customer portal where they can view tickets, track orders, and grab invoices in real time, eliminating the game of phone tag. Unlike clunky legacy systems, Bulk Source is cloud native and mobile friendly. It works on any device, iPad, phone, or desktop, and integrates seamlessly with accounting tools like QuickBooks and NetSuite. Streamline your operation, speed up cash flow, and ditch the chaos. Visit bulksource.com to book a demo today.
So it works on a laptop. It does work in the field because you're really just clicking and going. It's pretty simple when it comes to parking layouts and that sort of thing. Sure. We don't have like an iPad app or anything like that just yet, although it's been requested. So maybe look for that in the future. One day. What a lot of people do is they're going out in the field and they know they're going to go visit this site. They quick create it, on their desktop or laptop in the office where they have their mouse. Then when they get there, they can start to add in like, oh, this is where an entry should be. Oh, this is maybe the
Okay.
direction we should be facing, that sort of thing.
Yep.
So you're adding details versus starting from
It's
scratch when you're
crazy,
out there.
man. I hope if people are listening, they go over and check out the YouTube and see the demo.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to watch. Can I get you to go to one where do you have a demo up where you can just drag it and just like you do with the cursors?
Yeah.
Can we just do that on like that dirt spot over there to the right?
Yeah.
It's my favorite damn thing to do. It's like when I watch you guys do this, it's just it's just crazy to me.
Yeah. I'm just moving, basically for those that are listening, I'm just moving our no-go area essentially out of the way.
Yeah.
And then TestFit will start to redesign. And you can do that with any of them. So we call them easements. I like calling them no-go areas, but
yeah,
you can basically just move it all around.
It's just so crazy. When you grab that, like the corner cursor and just move stuff around on like the corner of the parking area and like slide it and just make it out of nothing in a green field. It's my favorite damn thing. Is it's just like, only because like I'm a huge fan, and as I should be, of more asphalt in the world. It's just cool to see like when you're able to drag it into the middle of a field and make it happen with like the free technology.
Oh yeah.
All right. So what about like training and support and that type of stuff?
Oh yeah.
What are we looking at for that with TestFit? Because as tech savvy as I like to think I am, my children let me know very often that I'm not. So I'm sure I'm going to run into some blockades and different things.
Rest assured, we have a lot of folks in TestFit that have never ever used any sort of like quote unquote design software. They've never been in CAD.
Okay.
Like the most technical thing they've ever used is Excel, which again is another one of those like skiing things, like easy to get into, hard to master, right? Like I've been using, Excel for decades now, and I still don't know all the functions and everything like that.
Yep.
So there's definitely some comfort there. But you know what? We definitely make sure that you guys are set up. So we have this entire onboarding course that you can take. It's like little quick short videos you can do on your own time. We then have weekly, we call them office hours, but you can hop in any day during the work week, ask our team questions live, go through anything that you want to share your screen on. We have email support, which is really, really fast at getting you answers. If anything that can't be answered over email, we'll hop on a call and work with you guys on those office hours.
I think it's a necessity, dude. It's almost a necessity nowadays for any software company. And I'm doing even like the manufacturer side. If we're running a paver or a seal coat rig or whatever we're doing, a line striper, and we're like, hey, this thing's not pumping, to be able to call somebody and just have them on the phone with you and on the horn as you're on a project or trying to quote a project quick helps out a lot. Where do you find this fits into the contractor workflow? So, I mean, essentially they're are contractors getting an address from clients, looking this up and drawing it right then and there? Are they doing a site visit and then putting it together? I mean, have you gathered any info on that from anybody? Is it just preference of the contractor or?
Honestly, yeah, it's all the above, right? Like, I mean, you're half of it depends on the contractor though, right? Like some are more just responsive, others are more prospective. So you're going out there and trying to find sites to say like, hey, we could go and do this and offer your services versus like, hey, someone's looking for your services. And because it's just so fast, now you can say like, hey, this is what your new lot could look like, right? Like, is this aligned with what your goals are? Let's have a conversation. It only takes you a couple of minutes versus going out and doing that prospecting. It's like, hey, here's my background. Here's our team and what we do. Love to kind of talk to you about what you'd like to do versus like, hey, here's the result that you could actually get. That sells a lot better than, anything else.
Well, for TestFit to be around 10 years or so and you to be there for 5 years or so, you've seen quite a bit of it as it's grown and what it's turned into. How much of a factor has feedback from contractors been on adjusting the software and different things?
We get loads of feedback and we take it all to heart. So we actually won't go down too much of a rabbit hole, but we have internal to TestFit, we are organized by pods. And essentially what that means is they're kind of like small companies within our company. Focused on different areas of our app. And one of them includes parking. So we're always updating it. We're always looking for new ways to optimize. We have some stuff in the works for this year for new parking things, more related to like structured parking, but same kind of thing.
Oh, really? Like multi-level?
Which we can do right now, but we want to get more. Yeah.
That's sick.
So we can do multi-level. We have some things that we want to get into there too with like core coordination. We can even do columns right now. It's all that kind of stuff.
What happens off blueprints? Jack? What, like if I,
Sure.
can we do that? Can we load up a ESV or a PDF or something, blueprints, and then start going and using TestFit from there? Is it only in open world mapping and stuff?
You can bring them in. So, like for the open world side, like there's two different ways of looking at a blueprint for some of these sites. One, it could be just an Alta survey of what exists, right?
Sure.
So you're pulling that in. You can bring that in as a background, use that as your boundary, and then kind of put no-go areas in, like your easements, wherever like you don't want to build or there's buildings you want to preserve, that type of thing. For blueprints, like when you get into things like parking garages, that kind of stuff, it's a little bit more difficult for us just yet because
Yeah.
custom column structures are harder to
Sure. That's kind
rationalize.
of what I was thinking on those ones. But, when I'm thinking about like an engineering design, if they're going to build a new waterfront terrace over here and
Sure.
they're like, this is going to be the parking area, we talk a lot about contractors using it. I have to imagine engineering firms are scooping up some of this and being like, yeah, we want this to build our, you always see when you did that 3D rendering, that's what it looked like to me, was like
Yeah.
an engineer design of like coming soon, and you see
Yeah.
it on like the fence outside of whatever it is. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
That has to be in play, I would imagine too, correct?
Yes. 100%. I
Okay,
mean, we have
cool.
civil engineering firms using us for that exact purpose, right? They're
Okay.
doing, because we do a bunch of different typologies. So we're not just parking, like we do multifamily, industrial, data centers, all of that kind of fun stuff. And parking is core to all of it, right?
Yeah.
Even a data center, you still got to park it,
Yeah,
right?
you
You
still got to
got to
park.
figure out
Somebody's got
what
to
people.
park somewhere at a data center.
Yeah.
Yeah, at a Bitcoin miner in the middle of Iowa, they got parking stalls.
Yes. Yeah. They may only need 10 for 5 million square feet. But
That's
they
right.
need 10,
That's right.
10
You
parking
need more
stalls.
air conditioners than you do parking stalls for those things.
Yeah, percent.
One of the biggest challenges in concrete work is control. Control over quality, control over timing, and control over cost. Cementech designs and delivers volumetric concrete mixers that are some of the most accurate and technologically advanced in the industry. Their equipment gives contractors real control over schedule, budget, and concrete quality, allowing crews to mix exactly what they need when they need it, without the waste and limitations of traditional barrel mixers. I've been in the same industry circles as Cementech for years, and I've interviewed contractors who run their equipment every day. It works, it delivers. If you want to learn more or to find a dealer near you, head to cementtech.com.
When I think about TestFit, for me, it's like this is at the forefront. Like this technology is at the forefront. Are you all seeing trends in technology in site design? Like, is it getting?
Yeah.
Are you? I mean, I guess I don't know really, because I've only seen a few software, and I was like, well, these companies are here. There has to be trends in the way things are going and flowing.
A lot of design software, right, which we kind of get categorized into, although we're more of an automation software, has kind of historically only ever been for the designers, right? Like contractors haven't really gotten into that sort of thing, other than like AutoCAD is kind of permeated through everywhere.
That was
So
always
like
out of our reach. Like, I'm not going to be able to
right,
draw what you just did on screen here. Like, that's just not my wheelhouse. But if you're
right.
telling me all I got to do is drag a cursor and a clicker and put in what I want, I'm in the game.
I think that's the entire thing, right? Like you look at some of the like capital AI type of stuff for like the Lovable, the Base 44, those types of things. They've brought the ease of use down. Really, that's kind of it, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're hoping to do in the design and development space. Is like it's been so sequestered to just like the elite designers that like, hey, anyone should be able to go in there and lay this out, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to be like necessarily constructible drawing right out of the gate. You may have to do some tweaks. That's still, your secret sauce to put in there. But we want to give you the tools to be able to make those decisions very quickly and ideally win more work. That's really the idea with TestFit.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's everybody's goal, is to win more work. And not only that, I feel like anything that saves you time means that you can crank out more work in a season if you're in a seasonal work area, essentially, when it comes to
Totally.
it. But, you were talking about it being an automation tool, versus like a layout tool or whatever. The impact on contractors' efficiency is where like the dollar points would make up. And for me, I think like with you all creating this software and then being like, hey, yeah, we want to make an app coming out and whatnot. Are there how do I want to put it, features and like a roadmap where you all are like, this is the next hurdle kind of that we need to get over one way or another? Is this a software where it's going to be the same for quite a while because we don't have the chance to advance it if we were going to advance it. It's already way too advanced for me, but there are tech junkies in the asphalt industry, and especially
Oh
in the
yeah.
striping industry. I got my friend Dustin Natinka at Michigan Marking, biggest striping geek I know. So, he's going to love the fact that we were able to get you on here. I actually sent him it a while back, but
Yeah.
are we seeing that? Is there a
So,
roadmap for you all for the future?
yes, we do. We don't necessarily publish it. We actually did a roadmap webinar though in December where we talked about what's coming, but we're fluid and that's because of the feedback and that sort of thing. But we ship an updated TestFit every single month.
Cool.
And it's not like an Apple or Windows update where it's like, hey, we fixed some bugs. It's like, hey, we're launching something new.
Yeah, you can do this now.
We have we can do this now. We made this easier. We, now can push out, like in the next couple of months, we have
so
a whole new
cool.
pro forma thing coming out. So you guys can run better budgets on what you're designing. So even with, your striping and that sort of thing, like, hey, this is how much parking area there is. You can now run a full pro forma on that.
You know what this is exciting for,
retail.
Jack? Yeah. Like Graco line striping machines have auto layout. And for me, like, it's not going to be very long before we're able to upload, at least in my mind, we're able to upload one of you all's PDFs into the auto layout of a Graco machine. We have these technologies working with hardware and in the machines and whatnot. And I'm like, we are so close. Like, dude, within 5 years, I can feel it. And it's just like when that happens, that essentially means that we could automate machines. It's just all these pieces working forward, coming together in the way the world's going. Do you have advice for contractors that are kind of hesitant about new tech? Because you guys have dealt with that.
Yeah. I think broadly, adopting new tech is something you should take time to consider, right? Because it's, it changes the way your business model works. It's everyone kind of like, and I'm super guilty of this. I see something flashy and new, and I'm like, I'm gonna go buy it and see how I can make it work. Right? Like I want it, I'm gonna go do it, and then it depends on what it is. Sometimes like, well, that didn't really work for my use case, right? But then there's other times when I'm like, hey, I think we need this. This is the use case, and this is why, what I think I can do with it. Let me go test that. That always works a lot better than like the quick, snappy decision. Sure. And that's what we're here to support too. Like you can ask us questions, you can read some of our case studies, that sort of thing. And I think, at the end of the day, if you have a real tangible use case from day one, the flashy thing is just going to slot right into place, right? Yeah. If you're trying to make it work, that sort of thing, it's a little bit harder. And I say that more broadly with like AI adoption, that sort of thing, right? Sure. There's a lot of cool stuff out there right now. There's a lot of, and we kind of know like AI slop that's out there too. Like, we don't really know what's going on.
The best AI is 50s and 60s Motown covers of 50 Cent songs. That's my favorite AI. That's not so sloppy.
We went down a rabbit hole that last week.
Those are my favorite ones. Yeah, you're welcome, everybody, if you're listening. Going down that one.
Those are great. Definitely recommend them.
Yeah. If that guy was playing somewhere here in Nashville, I would go to that place every night if he was singing those songs like that. Somebody has to do it.
It's going to make it weird in the next few years for music and everything else. But I do think because TestFit is so focused on the outcome, like that is our biggest thing. Like whenever we're building something, it's like, why are we building this? Is it necessary? Does this shrink the process or does it lengthen the process? Those types of things that I think we're an aligned organization to be implemented across different personas or whoever you are. So contractor, civil engineer, whatever it may be. And a lot of people have gotten a ton of success out of TestFit.
Dude, it's so cool. It's just so damn cool. I can't explain it. It's like for people who don't know what we're talking about, I get it. You get them, they'll be like, why the hell is this cool? But if you've had to do the work that it takes for you guys to see what you do and put together in an instant, if you had to do the work to do that, you understand that how cool this is and how much effort, energy, and time it takes off of your hands, and then how professional it looks going forward. But we've talked about it a lot. Is there a best way for listeners or watchers to try out TestFit, or at least get a demo like I've seen today?
When you're investing in asphalt equipment, trust matters. KM International designs and builds seal coat units, infrared heaters, asphalt hot boxes, and other asphalt maintenance equipment for contractors, municipalities, and professionals across the industry. We run KM seal coat units because they're built tough, they perform in the field, and we trust the people behind the brand. Another big reason we stand behind KM, their equipment is made right here in the USA. Their mission says it best, innovative asphalt maintenance solutions. To learn more, visit kminternational.com, call 810-688-1234, or email sales@kminternational.com.
Reach out to TestFit. We're on testfit.io. There's a button on our website just to reach out to us. You can also email us at sales@testfit or info@testfit.io, or reach out to me personally on LinkedIn or anything else. And we're always happy to chat. We have a bunch of webinars you can join to whenever we launch something big, which is typically every couple of months too. We'll do a webinar and show it live where you can jump in, ask questions live. We're always there. We're trying to be as open as we can and transparent as what we're building.
Yeah.
So, again, that we can get that feedback as we're building it. Always love to hear from everybody.
Jack, dude, thanks so much for joining today, dude, and giving us some info and doing a live demo for us. It's been fantastic. Man, greatly appreciate it. For myself here in Nashville, and for Jack, where are you at? What state?
I'm in California. I'm on the West Coast now.
So it's about to snow here in Nashville. So in wintry, blustery, blizzardy Nashville, Tennessee, I'm speaking for myself, but in wonderful palm tree covered California for Jack. This is In the Mix. And Jack, thanks again, man.
Thanks, Marvin. Appreciate you having me on.
Yep. All right, everybody. If you hop over to inthemixmj.com, you'll be able to sign up for our newsletter there. Hopefully we have this podcast there at some point featured on there, as well as an article by me each month. And, you can check out words from our sponsors and whatnot. Sometimes we have guest writers on there too. We'd love for you to sign up for the newsletter, and be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at InTheMixMJ. If you type in Marvin Joels on some other of those social platforms, you'll find me, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever. As always, Jack, I want you to stay on afterwards when I sign off, because I want you to answer a couple behind the scenes questions for me. Sure. This is In the Mix, where asphalt is opportunity. Peace.